John, hey.
Oh. Test, test. You hear me?
Yeah. I'm just getting a couple things in order right now. Hold on. I've got to get sign on to the Facebook. Hang on.
Okay.
God damn, start audio. I fucking start audio, bitch. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm just gonna fire up the. Obviously, I just sent this shit out, and so like this happened like right now. You know. Hang on.
Yep.
Stop. Ugh, God damn it.
Okay, I'm gonna try something here. Let me know if you can still hear me.
Okay.
You can hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be live on Facebook in just a minute.
Too hot to do it inside for me.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. I may have to blow out too. Hold on. So she's talking about some procedural problems. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, I know it's a slight issue because I filed it. Like, it may be that the court has to grant permission, but that's not a big deal. You know, I sent him that, you know, it used to be you filed your amended complaint. I'll describe it in a second. Hold on.
Right.
We'll cover that real quick, and then we'll get right into the Luna story. All right, almost set here. Okay. Plug in the real mic. All right, go on now. Quick, get that motherfucker under there. Tidy, please. Okay, that's good enough. All right. That's over there. Well, all right, folks, we're live. We're here with Weedwraps. We're here with Weedwraps number 11 with John.
Already. 11 already, huh?
Yes, I know. Time drags on like sands through the hourglass, isn't it?
That's right. These are the days of our life.
Well, folks, we've got us a show today. I'm going to briefly go through the amended complaint very briefly, and then we're going to step right into the story that just ran today from Luna Reyna and the South Seattle Emerald. So we were waiting for this. I know she's been very dedicated in going into it. Honestly, I have not yet had a chance to review it because I just noticed it came out now. So hold on, and we'll be right to it. John, how you doing?
Doing good. No, that's news to me about this article. I'm glad she finally got around to it. I haven't had a chance to see it either.
Oh, I sent it to you guys in your. If you want to open it up, I can send it. It's on my page if you want to get it opened, or I can share this. I'll just pull the screen up.
Well, you have to do it. I'm just on my phone today.
Okay. Let's see if the technology mavens will allow this old man to figure this out. I can do it. I have confidence. But yes, folks, on the subject of the amended complaint. First, what we have here is, one second. Goodness. All right. What we have is what we have done is filed our first amendment. What we have done is we filed our second amended complaint. And the whole point of this was to go through and clarify a lot of things that we've been supplementing, for the past 11 or 12 additional filings we've been making as we've discovered more and more proof of their misconduct, constitutional misconduct. And opposing counsel said that she's going to oppose it. I'm not sure exactly what her authority is for that. She mentioned there were substantive and procedural problems with it. I want to see what she argues. I don't see that there are on the. I can see a possible procedural one. Back in the day when we filed for amended complaint, the rule was you filed your motion for the amended complaint and you attach the complaint to it. And then you sent it in with the proposed order, which is what I did. Now, I had not conferred with her first. So I told the court, my bad, Your Honor, I'm conferring with her. I've asked, and I will find out a response. And so I noted that, okay?
We'll see then.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens. But like I said, I don't see where there could be any possible, huge thing that keep our complaint from being heard. So hold on a second here.
I don't think the merits have really substantially changed. A lot of the details have filled in, but.
Right, and I think our action is more is increasingly meritorious now that we see those details. That's kind of the thing.
Right.
So we really have, guys. We've been discussing some of these additional things for the past several weeks. I discussed them yesterday at length in my monologue. So there's not really a need to go that deep into it right now. I will tell you that we had our expert witness file a declaration noting that he has seen corruption and problems for a long time, and basically supporting the whole basis of the lawsuit, going back to the fact that LCB is nothing but a cash cow that the state knew it had to establish after the financial crisis, 2008. And I knew all that happened because in the early double odds, I was a closing attorney. I ran a title company, and I knew that we wrote for WAMU, and I knew that WAMU was the state's biggest cash cow, even back in 2002, 3, 4, 5, when I was doing mortgages. So that right there, so I knew that the state imploded because all of its resources were going here, there, and every other which way to cover that. And then they were selling off the liquor stores. So they went private on that. And so then you have no further, sustenance coming in. So up comes marijuana, and they needed it. That's what they got. And it was done of no altruistic benefit to us. And we've seen that by the 10 senators that wrote the letter, the state reps that are quiet now, all those guys, they called it. And so we're just finishing the call. And I can't imagine anything that should really keep the court from hearing this second amended complaint. If I get scolded a little bit for filing a slightly procedural problem, I don't think that there's anything there. I think the complaint has merit, and I think we've clearly shown where there are constitutional issues involved in all of this, and not to mention the fact that we're watching this as taxpayers, watching them collect this revenue from the federal asset forfeiture program. That's only the province of predominantly law enforcement agencies, and they're not. There's the MOU with the state patrol. WSP says they're not. They say they're not. On their own website, they say that they're not. And we know that they're not an enforcement agency. They enforce code, not. It's like the analogy was, I used to be assistant attorney general. Well, guess what? Didn't make me a Leo. There are lawyers who are Leos, but I was not one of them.
Well, I like to use the example of the citizens have the power of citizens arrest. but that doesn't make us peace officers.
That's
We
exactly
don't
right.
have the ability to go file for search warrants.
That's exactly right. And you find that what they've done here is they put one of the pictures of their cards in. I forgot to put the good one in where it says police on it. But in the Second Amended Complaint, I put a picture of one of their cards. It's like you might as well hold up a pack of Chesterfields and say, "Hey, give me your weed." You know. So
well, that's what I told Goodman. I said I should just go get a police shirt with police on it and just go walk around, since I can do citizen's arrest.
yeah. That's what it says on the back of their card. We have the authority to arrest. Well, so does everybody. You know, but it says police on there. You can't have that. So, God. Well, all right, folks. Let's see if we can show the folks this story here. All right. Hit my screen share thing here a second. Hold on a minute.
So what are you smoking today?
I actually did almost all the time. I did smoke Frank's hemp, you know, the CBD hemp. I'm on that constantly. But this here is the wedding cake.
Uh-huh.
Broke down and went to a state store. It happens.
Yeah, I'm good about 50% of the time. I can get something that works for me.
I hear you. The wedding cake is good. It is an indica, but it's not in the couch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so share screen. Let's see. Boom, hit it. All right, desktop. Look at that. Ooh, Lord. Is that it?
Yep.
All right. Oh, I'm busy now. Oh, man. Oh, wait a minute. What's on this? That's not what I want, though. That's not what I want. Wait, new share. All right, there's that. No, I want this. Share. Okay. But I want to drag this thing over. Oh, wait. Okay. There. So what are you seeing now? I didn't talking.
I can see the front page of it.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just okay. So my view is different than your view. I get it now. All right. So yeah, we're on it. And folks, here it just reads her opinion piece. Liquor Cannabis Board agents may be operating beyond their authority. She is an editor herself, but of course she has an editor for this piece as well. Let me bring it there for you there. And she starts off by mentioning that Washington State is grappling with police violence and accountability issues. They talk about the citizens' frustrations on the defunding of the police issue. And then meanwhile, more than $24 million in cannabis taxes are going to the LCB, whose who law enforcement are issued uniforms with police patches and jackets with police plastered in front and back, despite not having adequate training or the authority these things allude to. Boom! She gets it.
Yep.
Yeah. LCB vehicles have also been modified with the same red and blue strobe lights as typical police cars. Until a security risk management firm review in 2019, all agents carried a mandatory firearm. And then another 5.6 million goes to an actual drug enforcement task force run by Washington State Patrol. That's okay.
Well, they're peace officers.
Say what?
Say they are peace officers, the Washington State Patrol. Yeah,
they have their own. They are, right. Yeah. They're their own academy, but it's equivalent, and they're definitely peace officers. Yes. She talks about the wide celebration of 502. Yeah, then she goes back into stuff that I forgot about. Oh, yeah, she says they were excited with the passage of 502, but within weeks, the newly appointed LCB leaders violated open public meetings law by meeting at least 17 times with local police and prevention groups privately.
Yep.
What the fuck is that noise? So my GoPro is going spastic for no reason over there. Anyway, yeah, I forgot about that lawsuit because that was wasn't that McRae and what's his name?
No, that was Arthur West.
I thought it was West with McRae, but is this West?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is colored
Yeah,
the way.
that was an interesting lawsuit. He actually lost the lawsuit. It was dismissed, but in the ruling, the judge found that they had broken the Open Public Meetings Act like 17 times. So, in that sense, it was a win.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm wrestling with Jenny Durkin on it on my case right now. They're trying to say that I did not send my request for documents out with the initial lawsuit, but I know dollars to donuts, I did. Okay, so that makes them overdue. Got it? Yeah.
Yep.
So not only that, on the discovery response for the documents, but not only that, about almost 2 months ago, I did a public records update where I said, hey, before I asked you for all the emails about these communications about Breon Corbray and having a meeting, I asked you for the emails before. Now I'm asking you for all communications, okay?
Right.
And I put through and I supplemented with that, right? So, but they never responded to that, you see. So,
Right.
and I'm like, well, you're tardy on that too. So you just start connecting the dots, man. You can't get out of it. And so the lawyer, he hasn't responded back to me today. And I'm like, I'm just going to wait till tomorrow or later on tonight. Be like, yo, hombre, what's up?
Right.
Anyway.
Well, another interesting part about that lawsuit was that's how kind of we discovered some of the inner workings of what was going on between the state and the federal government. It appears that the state gave permission to the Liquor Control Board to come up with some kind of arrangement with the feds.
Mm-hmm.
What that exactly was, we're not sure, but the impression that at least the state side had was that the feds would allow it as long as they cracked down on our medical marijuana market. And that was so we've never really seen that in writing, but we've heard it from a lot of the LCBs themselves, even board members and stuff. I think they've even brought it up at a few of the public meetings. But
yes. Anyway, yeah.
So whether they like it or not, the feds are a part of this deal.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So anyway, she talks about Rich Garza and that he was present at the illegal meetings. And then she starts to go into the chronology, much as we do in the lawsuit. Here are all the attempts they've tried to bring their authority up. And during a House Public Safety Committee meeting on House Bill 2394 in January 2014, Justin Nordhorn, the chief of the Education Division at the time, candidly asked for full general authority police officer powers. Both attempts in 2014 failed, as did the attempt in 2015 and the attempt in 2016 and in 2017. Every attempt the LCB has made to expand their enforcement powers has failed.
Yep.
Because it is generally perceived as an overreach, even by local police. I
remember that. I remember that 2014 hearing. I actually attended that and gave testimony.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and there's a Senate. She goes on now to the Senate bill, the report for SB 5132 in 2017 clearly stated that the ability to enforce laws around patron conduct are particularly concerning to a particularly concerning and duplicative of law enforcement powers. Yeah, so that there's another aspect to it too. If you're LCB and you show up and you want to play cop and you're at a bar and there's a disorderly conduct thing, they don't want you doing that. Okay, let the cops handle that.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They talk about Blia. And then she talks about David Stitt. She says, but then when David Stitt requested Blia training, he was told by his chief that he was already trained by the standard of the day and was denied further training. In the beginning, I didn't know what the implications were. I just wanted to do my job. But later on, I found out was that they had put us into a risky liability situation. Stitt explained to me in an interview, right. Yeah.
He's a straight shooter. We had a chance to meet with him. He's
pulled
no punches.
Yeah. Still was concerned about potential lawsuits and civil claims that could arise out of the type of enforcement and heavy work that was required of him. So when he was denied BLEA training in 2015, he quit. Yeah. And just like, what's his name? Just like Satterley walked out after he got his BLEA training, found out he's still not a cop.
Yep.
You know, and I'm telling you, dollars to donuts. I've used my allotment of that for today. That's twice, but I haven't heard it in a long time. Somebody used it the other day on a motorcycle forum, and I was like, yeah, it's a good
Well,
one.
it's appropriate in this situation.
Yo, I no doubt. There has to be a subliminal thing going on here that I came up with that one. I like it. I'm just gonna reach around and there you go, Mr. King. Hoo-ah. Hoo-ah. Then she goes on to she talks about John Young. Began working for LCB in March of 2008. Spent more than 5 years investigating organized criminals with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security investigations with the LCB as a task force officer. When Young became aware of the LCB's many attempts to obtain general police authority, he began asking questions. And by 2014, he was raising concerns about the agency's lack of authority. Yeah. She goes on to an email from Young to Nordhorn, where he stated, I've always prided myself in serving the public and the state with distinction and integrity. He went on to request the BLEA training. Nordhorn claimed that Young's requests for BLEA training were unwarranted. Nordhorn has overzealously interpreted 4 legislative statutes to provide the LCB with limited authority peace officer powers without the state required certification by the CJTC. Something Nordhorn himself admitted during is the state standard, and so did she. So did Michelle Carr.
Yep.
So this email also details another LCB agent who was proven to have perjured himself in court by identifying as a peace officer. Wow, wow, wow. She really, oh my God, oh my God. She just we're not going to go through this whole thing right now, but she goes into it. She talks about the GAI report on cannabis cronyism, ridiculed the way the LCB for the way the agency presents itself as having comp authority. The report details how the agency has conducted criminal investigations and served warrants. It explains judges who signed these warrants are under the mistaken impression that the LCB's officers have the legal authority to enforce these laws since they act like typical police. This issue is controversial because the LCB is a regulatory agency that has not been granted legal policing authority.
Well, I have a question for you.
What do you got?
No, so when I was looking over some of those warrants, I noticed that they weren't signed by a superior court judge. So some of them were signed by like city prosecutor type stuff. It just seems to me that if you have, if this is supposed to fall under the banner of the Controlled Substances Act, which is state law, what, do these these lower court judges, do they have the ability to do that?
Is there concurrent jurisdiction? I don't know. Yeah, that's the question, but I don't know the answer.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
I always thought they had to refer it to the AG or the local county prosecutor.
Well, I just gave you your search term to when you get a chance tonight. I know I'm busy as hell, but if you want to find out though, and I would love for you to do that and help us out, but the phrase is concurrent jurisdiction. Look for that. And that will tell you, that's the magic word, it'll come up. Whether or not they have it or not should be pretty clear then. She goes into the the independent review by Hilliard Hines, the concerns of the Washington Post before, revealing that current policies, training, and metrics reflect law enforcement strategies rather than those specifically developed for regulatory agencies. Yeah, right. But they were using, right, that's right. They're using Lexapol. They talk about, the Hilliard Hines report also details how the LCB hires ex-police officers without reviewing the necessary qualifications for them to work in a regulatory setting. They're BLEA trained through the CJTC as police officers, but once they leave a general authority agency, their peace officer status no longer stands. Right. Yeah. Who, Lord? Yeah, when they come to LCB, they don't have it. If they're released after the BLEA training, then it's an equivalency training. If they're released back to a general agency, then they're cops again.
It expires in 6 months, isn't it? I think it expires in 6 months. So if they could technically be from a general authority, go work for the LCB for like 2 or 3 months, and then they get hired back to a general authority, and I think they're okay.
That's right, it's 6 months. But
yeah,
cases that we've shown.
Yeah, well, the one gal who did the search warrant on the guy in Blaine, Washington, where they brought in the SWAT tanks, she had her BLEA training certificate from 2010, and that search warrant was in 2017. So that's 7 years that
Sure.
lapsed. And I never did get a copy of her peace officer certificate because she would not be a peace officer. So
hello. Yeah. That's the one thing I forgot to mention in the amended lawsuit that we discovered. The one thing I left out, and I may discover something more, but I know the only really important one I left out was the fact that we have these guys coming in there, like Satterley came in, and Ravika, they came in there for years and years and years before they went back and tried the BLEA training. So I cite to the law in some supplemental filings, but I forgot to put it into the Second Amended Complaint. But not to worry, I'll bring it up when she moves to dismiss again. So yeah.
So just for the audience, BLEA means Basic Law Enforcement Academy?
Yes. Yeah. And there's
apparently we have one of the higher standards in a lot of the states. Apparently our standard is either on par or even greater than the federal, from what I'm hearing.
Once it's applied, right. And we've also found out, guys, I did mention this in the lawsuit, we found out that the Gambling Commission, they, even though their people aren't cops either, they send them all to BLEA because it's a responsible thing to do. You discovered that through your discovery request, through your public information request.
Yep. Yeah, they were quick on that one. So they were clear to say that we're not peace officers.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. She goes on to talk about the Hilliard-Hines review, highlighting the LCB's emphasis on law enforcement instead of the intended regulatory duties. Okay. Brian Smith, the LCB communications director, pointed to this unit when asked why the LCB has not followed the Hilliard-Hines review's recommendations. Smith claims that the agency has addressed and implemented all the recommendations of the HH review to their satisfaction, as well as the board and agency's leadership. We went on to say by email, the LCB welcomed and accepted the recommendations in the review.
Uh-huh.
And then she says, but had Senate Bill 5319 passed, the LCB would not have had power over the restructure, and an ombudsman would be in place to investigate licensee reports of retaliation and conduct. That's interesting. Huh. Whoa, she's off into another realm of something I don't know about. We got to study this one. Okay. So it continues. Smith also claimed that there's been a marked increase in education and lower level corrective actions since this new unit has been put in place. Okay. So this new group is within the Cannabis Enforcement Education Unit that consists of unarmed, non-commissioned employees whose key objective will be to educate and work collaboratively with licensees to achieve compliance. Oh, that's the kinder, gentler hand of the LCB. Get it? Yeah.
Well, what about the patients they were rating?
Yeah, what about that? Okay, so hold on a second. I'm just here to illustrate the LCB's kinder, gentler hand.
Get those evidence gloves on.
Yeah. Goes something like this. Ah.
Yep.
That, my friends, is the LCB's kinder, gentler hand. That's not right, but they're not right either. So what the hell? Live a little. Pretty funny, actually. Anyway, their duties. She talks about. Oh wait. Okay, yeah. Well, so, however, according to Walter, Leos are told to mark all contacts, even for enforcement agents, as education, because we are always discussing compliance issues, which illustrates how potentially deceptive the LCB stats will be moving forward. You see, mark them this way, not that way.
Right.
Oh yeah. Moreover, Walter and others say the duties that will be assigned to the new unit mentioned in the GIA were already outlined for the LCB when 502 was originally proposed. Wow. These are duties that should have been a priority since the LCB's inception. There should be no need for a new unit. Outside of this tremendous oversight, requiring LCB agents to carry firearms at all is reckless.
Yep.
Right? Because if they have been to BLEA, what are you doing with guns?
That's right.
What are
We've
you
heard
doing?
stories of agents there. It actually, I can't remember which of the whistleblowers told me of a story that some of the people there had failed. I can't remember what they're trained at, like 30 yards or something like that. Whatever the distance was, apparently some of the LCB agents weren't able to pass that, so they decided to have their own standard and reduced it to like 15 feet.
Yeah, right. Did you hit the guy from across the dinner table?
That's right.
Right. With a 20 gauge.
Yep. If you could hit that with a 12.
Give him a 12. Yeah, give him a 12 even.
Sure.
What the hell? Sure. Good God. All right. So, oh, by the way, man, Frank has the coolest rifle. I mean, it's the coolest. It can shoot all this stuff. It's a shotgun thing, but it's like the collapsible thing. They're like $150.
Wow.
It's a single shot, right?
Yeah.
He just folded up, and he walked in the door. And he goes, "Well, I got my rifle with me," and I'm looking at him like, "Where?" You know. And I got a picture of it. I'll put the picture online later. But it's the coolest little thing, man. I just like he just you know, and then you have your look. If you think about it, if you're hunting big game, you know, it's a single shot operation, really. I mean, if you miss the motherfucker, it's gone. And if you wounded it deeply, then you'll just reload and finish. You know, so yeah. Anyway, back to the getting lost on guns. All right, back to this. In October 2020, King, an activist who worked as a journalist and private practice attorney before moving to Washington, was excited about the new cannabis legislation and voted for 502. At that time, I did not fully comprehend the negative consequences that would foreseeably flow from it, King explained in an interview. In October 2020, I decided I had to create, third person, Chris. He decided that he had to create awareness about what he perceived as a violation of the public's 14th Amendment rights and other ones, and filed a lawsuit against the LCB in hopes of exposing them. They are fake cops in the business of unauthorized constitutional deprivation, and the whole dang scheme needs to be taken down. And any case involving non-certified peace officers needs to be wound back or damages provided to the innocent. Yeah, I did say that. Yeah. You know, as a former government lawyer, I know how slippery things could be. And the LCB is about the slipperiest agency I've ever witnessed on many fronts. It's true though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Why would I lie? I have no reason to lie about any of this. I'm flabbergasted, and so are a lot of people. But a lot of people in high places are just staying silent, man. I'll tell you.
They sure are. I keep saying it. Why it's left us? I don't get it.
Right. My God, man. Oh man. So, okay, the last
I
couple
think that
paragraphs.
the legislators would crack down on them after we showed them what was happening.
No, they're gonna wait for some directive from the court. I'll tell you, and then I'll say, but I'll put it to you this way: I think the judge has seen our earnestness, and if there's a petty sort of procedural error or something like that, or even if there's like a substantive one, I don't think he's gonna throw us out. He's gonna be like, okay, y'all need to correct this, and this, and bring it back here in 30 days. But I don't think
That's
there
what
is
he
much.
did with yeah, he did that for the when we weren't able to get the U.S. side, the U.S.
They get them served and everything.
Yeah,
They ran around it, man. They definitely. I know that they dodged service, but you just can't. They know it's two of us standing here trying to do this, and they knew that I was not gonna keep going after that, but they should have accepted service. But we already have enough on our hands right now with these locals, and in so doing, we've implicated the feds too.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, she goes on to say that Smith refused to respond to questions about how leadership was determined for Nordhorn's newly appointed position, or about training expectations moving forward. And he
Why
refused
would they not want to answer that question?
that question. Yeah, and he refused to share detailed information about the outreach and education efforts. He explained that if I wanted further information, I would need to submit a public records request.
Oh, really?
Let's
Gee, you got nothing to hide, huh?
let's do it. Let's do it. I'll send you. You got the article now. Let's go through it. Do it for her. She's
Yeah,
busy.
right.
We'll do it for her, and we'll certify that whatever we get, you get, Miss Reyna.
Right.
In my view, these are not the actions of an agency that welcomed and accepted the recommendations in the review. Right. Transparency and accountability are the only way to forward for the LCB in order for the agency to shed the reputation they have gained since its inception. For the
Right.
toxic culture the agency has cultivated to be eradicated, and for the cannabis community to trust the agency. If this does not happen, the only way forward is through major legislation.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bravo. Well, I'm looking forward to reading it.
Yeah. I'm going to read it later on tonight slowly. But man, that's one of the things we have to do as journalists and lawyers is do the quick scan. And I remember we used to practice. I used to practice reading upside down.
Oh, yeah.
When you went to offices and people were holding a document, and you wanted to know what it said.
Right.
They had flipped it over, or if you saw something on their desk that they didn't want you to know was there, you just get it real quick. What did it say?
Right.
It's a crazy skill, man. But yeah,
I bet.
geek. Oh man. Well, John, you got anything in closing? I've got to get to the bank and pay this landlord.
Boy, not really nothing right now. I'm glad to see that the article came out. So I'm sure we'll have more to say on it next week.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we'll go from there. All right, brother.
Thanks.
Hey.
Peace.
Right. That's kind of cool, huh? Look at that. Adam's apple. All right, it's played out.